Hello medicos. In this video, I will try to explain you about the femoral hernia. First of all, I will discuss about the what is the normal features of the femoral hernia, causes, sign and symptom what you will see in the patient of femoral hernia, diagnosis and treatment of the femoral hernia, which type of surgery we need to do for the femoral hernia. So, it is a bulge in the upper part of the thigh near the groin region. Here you will see this is the bulging occur in the upper part of the thigh. This is the thigh region and upper part of the thigh near the groin region. I will also explain you how you differentiate in this inguinal hernia and the femoral hernia, because most of time we will not differentiate between the inguinal and femoral hernia. In the diagnosis, I will explain you how you will differentiate this hernia is femoral or inguinal hernia. So now I will start femoral hernia. It is a bulge in the upper part of the thigh near the groin region. In this, protrusion occur through the femoral ring into the femoral canal. First of all, please learn this femoral canal. Femoral canal are not present in the normal healthy people. Please learn this. This is very important. Not present in healthy people. Only formation of healthy people, only formation of femoral canal only in case of the when femoral hernia occur. Here you will see the femoral canal, this green structure you will see, this is the in this case this is a femoral canal present in behind the femoral vein. Here you will see nerve, femoral nerve, this is femoral artery and this is the femoral vein. Near this formation of femoral canal occur, but it is only formed in case of the femoral hernia, not in case of the normal people. After that, it is more common in women. Why it is more common in women? Mostly this is more common in women because you all know in women it is pelvic region is more wider, pelvic region more wider in the female as compared to male. And also when female has repeated pregnancy, due to repeated pregnancy due to repeated pregnancy, it causes weakening of ligaments, femoral ligament, which causes the hernia. So it is more common in women, approx 4:1 ratio. So please learn this, femoral hernia more common in women. Why? Because pelvic region is more wider due to repeated pregnancy in the female and weakening of the ligament due to the repeated pregnancy. So it is more common in women, and femoral canal only form in case of the femoral hernia, not in present in the normal people. What is the causes of the formation of femoral hernia? Causes of femoral hernia formation like heavy weight lifter, genetic causes also idiopathic. Some causes are unknown, then it's maybe idiopathic. Overweight, when a person has overweight, which causes the pressure in the region of the femoral triangle or femoral region, then it causes the femoral hernia. So overweight person. Also chronic coughing, when patient has chronic coughing like symptoms, and chronic coughing disease also, which causes the femoral hernia due to pressure in this region. And also childbirth, because I already said childbirth in the multiple pregnancy, repeated pregnancy, which causes the wider of the pelvic region, because and weakening of the ligament. So childbirth also cause repeated pregnancy, which also causes the femoral hernia. So these are the causes of the femoral hernia. Please also learn childbirth, it is very important because repeated pregnancy. This is femoral triangle, because you all know femoral hernia occur in the region of the femoral triangle, this femoral triangle. When sometimes in examination, or we need to also note the boundary of femoral triangle. So this is the femoral triangle present in the region of femoral region, this femoral triangle. So first of all, base of the femoral triangle is formed by the inguinal ligament. Please learn, base of the femoral triangle is formed by the inguinal ligament. And lateral border, this is the lateral border, this is the medial border. So lateral border is formed by the sartorius muscle, and the medial border is formed by the medial abductor longus. Medial border of adductor longus and lateral border is formed by the medial border of the sartorius muscles. So this is the boundary of the femoral triangle. Base is formed by the inguinal ligament, laterally is formed by the sartorius, medial part of the sartorius, and the medially is formed by the medial part of the adductor longus muscle. This is the boundary of the triangle of the femoral triangle. So please learn this. This is very important for us. And also you sometimes also examiner ask about the femoral canal boundary. This is the femoral canal formation occur in case of the femoral hernia. So boundary when sometimes asked, so I will write if you want anteriorly. Anteriorly it is formed by the inguinal ligament. Anteriorly formed by the inguinal ligament. Posterior part, when you will see the posteriorly from this canal, then you will see pectineus fascia, and pectineus muscles also visible. So pectineus with its fascia also form posterior border. Medial border of the femoral canal is formed by the base of lacunar ligaments, and lateral border is formed by the femoral vein. This is the lateral border which is formed by the femoral vein. Anteriorly it is formed by the inguinal ligament. Posteriorly, when you will go posteriorly, then you will see it is formed by the pectineus with its fascia, and the medially it formed by the base of the lacunar ligament which form the medial border. So please learn this is the boundary of femoral canal boundaries, because sometimes in the examination also for solving of some question we need to know about the boundaries of the femoral triangle, also femoral canal boundary. So these two boundaries we need to essential for the femoral hernia formation. What is the sign you will see in case of the patient of femoral hernia? There are mostly two signs you will see in case of the hernia. First is the coughing push sign. This is sign when you say to patient to start coughing. And put hand on the lumpy area, any lumpy area in the any type of the hernia, then when you put the hand on this area, then it push back the hand, which is the sign we use for the diagnosis of the coughing push sign for the hernia. So this is first sign is the coughing push sign, and second sign is the Cooper sign. Cooper sign is the hernial bulging is localized below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. This is called Cooper signs. Hernial bulging is localized below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. This is the Cooper sign. So two sign you need to learn about the hernia: coughing push sign and the Cooper sign. Last is the symptoms. What the symptoms? After that I will discuss about the diagnosis and treatment. First, symptoms of the femoral hernia, like tenderness occur in this region. Patient feels tenderness in this region. Also pain in the groin region. Here you will see the patient has pain in the groin region, but below the inguinal line. After that, also small lumpy formation. So lumping appearance in this region, usually not reducible in these cases. And this is the non-acute form of symptom. When it may be acute emergency form, then it also causes the vomiting. When emergency form and acute, it become acute vomiting, and also constipation occur due to the construction of this area, so also causes the constipation. Also it causes the abdominal distension of the abdominal area. So abdominal distension, lump irreducible in this, also lump irreducible, and sometimes blood in the stool. So blood in the stool, it is a acute emergency condition symptoms. Acute emergency symptoms you will see in case of the patient of the femoral hernia. So this is the symptoms you will see non-acute form, but this is the you will see in the acute emergency form. This symptom you will see in the patient. So please learn also, this is the femoral triangle. You need to learn about the boundaries of the femoral triangle and also boundary of the femoral canal. It is also important. And causes of the main cause mostly in the female, approx 4:1 ratio, 4 female and approx 1 male it's affected. So femoral hernia more common in the female, and it causes the femoral ring formation, which is not present in the healthy women. Now I will discuss about the diagnosis and treatment of the femoral hernia. Now, the diagnosis of the femoral hernia. How you will differentiate and how you will diagnose the femoral hernia, it's femoral or the inguinal hernia, how you differentiate. So, first of all, clinical examination. For clinical examination, we will try to differentiate it is inguinal or the femoral hernia. First of all, when this is a pectineous tubercle, pubic tubercle. This is line is called pubic tubercle. This pubic tubercle, when the hernia occur above the pubic tubercle, then it is a inguinal hernia. But when hernia occur below this pubic tubercle, then it is a femoral hernia. So femoral hernia below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. Here you will see this is the inguinal hernia with this in this cases femoral hernia, it is a below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. But in case of the inguinal hernia, you will see the above and medial to the pubic tubercle. Here this you will see the medial and above the pubic tubercle. So this is the difference between the, you will by the clinical examination you will differentiate this is inguinal hernia or femoral hernia. In the femoral hernia, below and lateral to the pubic tubercle, and when it is a inguinal hernia, above and medial to the pubic tubercle. So this is the difference of the clinical examination of the inguinal hernia, how you differentiate this is inguinal or femoral hernia. And also inguinal hernia above at the line of femoral line or also above, but inguinal hernia below this femoral inguinal line, below this inguinal line. So this is the difference also the between the inguinal and femoral hernia. Also sometimes when we will not differentiate, then we will try to x-ray or ultrasound of the patient, and CT scan and MRI also we will try to use for the diagnosis of the femoral hernia. So this is main clinical examination we use for the diagnosis of the femoral and the inguinal hernia, and after that x-ray, ultrasound or CT scan, MRI we will also use as like we need to do or not. After that we try to treatment of this hernia. When we will diagnose this hernia, then we will try to treatment of this hernia. So mostly there are two methods used for the treatment of femoral hernia. First is the Ropes method, second is the Bassini method. For Ropes method, it is a two approach. We will use low approach, inguinal approach and high approach. It is also high approach, but in the different scientist name, it is a inguinal approach and the high approach. First of all, in case of the low approach, it's also called as Lockwood approach. Please learn also, it is also called Lockwood approach, and in this cases incision occur the below the inguinal ligament, below the inguinal ligament. So this ligament, so this is called low approach. In this incision, we will try to incision occur below the inguinal ligament. Second is the inguinal approach. It is also called high approach, but on the basis of its scientist name Lothician scientist name. It's also in these cases through the inguinal canal. In this incision occur through the inguinal canal. Inguinal canal, in this incision occur through the inguinal canal. And last is the high approach, but McAvedy, this scientist name on the basis of McAvedy, this in this approach mainly above the inguinal canal. In this incision above the inguinal canal. So this is the difference on the basis of scientist name. Low approach method, we will try to cut on below the inguinal ligament, but in inguinal approach, it's also called Lothician approach through the inguinal canal, and high approach above the inguinal canal. So this is the difference of the incision occur in the case of the Ropes method. Here you will see the low operation method. Here you will see the low operation, also called Lockwood method. Lockwood method. And in the case of the high operation method, is also called McAvedy method. This is this diagram, this surgery you see, this is called McAvedy method, and this is the Lockwood method. Second method is the Bassini method. Most of the cases this method is very important and used in case of the surgery of femoral hernia, and also in case of the inguinal hernia. So in the Bassini method, mostly in case of this incision occur, incision is parallel and below the inguinal ligament. Incision occur below the inguinal ligament, just above the bulging of the hernia, just above the bulging of hernia. So this is the Basini method. In these cases, where mostly incision occur parallel and below the inguinal ligament and just above the bulging area. This is method mostly used in case of the both inguinal and femoral hernia. So this method is used for the this Basini method used for the incision and surgery of the femoral hernia, repairing of the femoral hernia. In this, incision is parallel and below the inguinal ligament just above the bulging hernia. So this method also important, and this is very important method for the surgery of femoral hernia, called Basini method. And second method is the rough method. It's also called low approach, high inguinal approach, and high approach on the basis of different position incision. So this is all about the femoral hernia. Thank you so much.